Hey everyone, Andrew here, Melbourne Superman. It's time for another suit review. So I've had this suit for quite a while and I'm really excited to be finally able to do this suit review. I've been really busy over the last few weeks, few months really, and so I finally have enough time to actually put this all together because I wanted to make sure that I gave it the time that it deserved and the time that it really needed so that I could... Seriously, Cal, oh man, I swear, my dog, Cal, he sits on the couch all day long. Like, I could walk around my house for the entire day. And as soon as I have to do something, he's all like, I'm gonna make all the noise. I'm gonna go drink the water. I'm gonna get in front of the camera. I'm gonna knock the camera. He's crazy. And he even goes to the trouble of licking his food bowl, and there's nothing even in there. So he's just like looking to cause trouble. Right on. Anyway, so this is this beautiful suit inspired by the Max Fleischer version of Superman / Man of Steel / a bit of Jscomicart, and it was of course constructed by Unmasked Studio with the trim done by GC5FX. So if you're new to these suit reviews, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to review the suit on the whole, then I'm going to get into the close-ups, talk a little bit about the seller and the maker experience, and sort of go from there, and then anything else that comes up, I will get into. So, here we go. We're gonna get into the suit review of the Unmasked Studio and in conjunction with GC5FX, the Max Fleischer suit with the Man of Steel embellishments. So, overall, we're going to start overall. Beautiful, beautiful suit. As you can see, photographs really well. This is probably, I'd say, one of the suits. I'd say for the people that follow my page, this is most people's favorite suit because, and my co-host / good buddy friend Jake over on the Kryptonian Chronicles, we were talking about it, and he said, you know, it's kind of a different suit. Not many people have something like this, and that's one of the things that I love about it is it's completely new. It's a new design. It is based off of Jscomicart, like I said before. This emblem was made by GC5FX, and I decided that I wanted to build, well, I wanted to have someone build a suit that revolved around this and Jscomicart, and I couldn't think of a better person to do it than Unmasked Studio because he's so great at creating concept pieces and sort of combination pieces, like just phenomenal. So, you know, I had obviously worked with him once before, and when I told him that I wanted to do this suit, I said, look, I have a couple of requests, right? So first, style of the suit, obviously. But second, I also wanted him to make me a suit that was built more about, in terms of the muscle suit and the sizing, closer to me and a little bit more form-fitting to me. Like the first suit that he made me was absolutely wonderful, but it's very much exaggerated in terms of the muscle size and definition. And whilst that's what I wanted for that suit, very comic book looking suit, that I didn't think was going to necessarily work for this. And so what he did was he basically he made the muscles a little bit smaller. He didn't glue down the suit so much onto the muscles, which already, just by not doing that, didn't give the suit as much definition as that first suit. And that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to look like it was a suit that was there to hold the shape of me, rather than me having to have a suit on that gave me a completely new shape, if that makes sense. I think I said that right. So, you know, from top to bottom, you know, you have the cape, which Velcros in. And, you know, Unmasked was actually really awesome. He was like, dude, how do you want me to make this cape? Because I don't think he normally attaches his capes in quite this way. And so I told him, I said, look, this is how my other suits have worked. You know, have like a Velcro piece here and here, and then little slits where the cape can tuck in. And that's exactly what he did, and he did it beautifully. So, you know, from top we have the red trim, like the trim around this, of course, like I said, GC5FX, but Unmasked Studio put it all on. Then we have the S here, which is just fantastic. We have the same kind of chainmail pattern on the actual suit itself. And then moving all the way down, we have, we have the trim and the belt buckle, the gauntlets. This suit did not come with boots. I did not get boots for this suit, but the boots that I have been wearing with this suit are the boots that I got from my custom costumes suit. So that was the Ricky Bruce Rad suit. There is a review on that suit as well. And that actually, those boots work just fine. I was going to use the Replica Industries boots, but I think for this particular suit, the custom costumes boots worked a little bit better with it, and they looked a little bit better with it. I think I haven't yet tried the Replica Industries boots on with it, so yeah, I'll see how that goes. But yeah, it fits beautifully. It's a very, and I was talking about this again on my podcast with Jake, the Kryptonian Chronicles, second name drop. It's tight, like to get it on takes a bit of work, 5 minutes. But that's kind of what you want. You need that because it has to fit that way. And I will do a movement video at some point in this suit, so you can keep an eye out for the Can I Move in This episode of this suit. But it fits great. It's got 2 zips in the back to close up the muscle suit and also to close up the suit. I have some suits that you put on and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to break this thing if I keep trying to put it on. Whereas this, it's just really secure. Like there's no problems there. I have none. I do need, Aaron to help me zip it up because I can't zip it up by myself. And in terms of flexibility, it's not the most flexible suit in the world, but most muscle suits aren't. Like most muscle suits aren't meant to do this. Like I think the only suits that I have that can really do that without altering the entire shape are the Replica Industries suits that I have. Both the Dawn of Justice suit and the Zack Snyder Justice League suit. Those are great for that. This one, not, and again, I'll get more into that in the movement when I do that. Not necessarily made for doing that. But that's fine because there are plenty of things you can do in this suit in terms of pose-wise that just make it look amazing. I mean, you can see it. You don't have to do anything to this suit to make it look awesome. So we're going to get into the close-ups now so you can see a little bit more of the details of it. So here we go. All right, here we are. So you can see, so here's where the cape is. The cape is pretty good. I like how the cape, he's got the pleats in there, which is fantastic. And he does have the slits here where the extra bits of the cape can tuck in. There's Velcro here. And you can see the detail of the chain link sort of pattern. And then getting down to the beautiful emblem made by GC5FX. Like, this thing is just class, man. Like, it is a class act emblem. Like, I have no problems with this emblem at all. There are some emblems that I see that I'm just like, whatever. But not from GC5FX. I've never seen that from GC5FX. He always does great things. And this is no exception. So it's just a beautiful emblem outlined in gold. I believe it is urethane. And it's just fantastically glued on there by Unmasked Studio. And so moving down, we see the trim here. Now I knew I wanted this trim to be red because I wanted to pay homage to the red briefs, of course, of the classic Superman, while still paying attention to the modern take of the suit. And it's just got beautiful, it's got beautiful Kryptonian script on there. The belt buckle is absolutely fantastic. And each piece of the trim is just as beautiful as the other. Same with the gauntlets. Moving down, you can just see how beautiful those are. Now this extra here, I can fold under the gauntlets when I put them on, so that's not, that extra little bit of material isn't always sticking out there. And that's kind of that. So you move down, he does have the leg muscles. I mean, the muscle suit is just beautiful on this thing. It's absolutely fantastic. You can see, you can see how the shoulders aren't huge. They're closer to this, really, believe it or not, closer to the size of my shoulders. They're a little bit bigger, of course, but when the suit's on, as you've all seen, it actually accentuates me really well, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's your close-up of the Unmasked Studio / GC5FX suit. And you can see in that light, you can see the abdominals popping a little bit. So the muscle suit it's silver, it's not chrome. So when it hits the lighting, you can see it, but it's subtle. It's much more subtle than, say, my Zack Snyder Justice League suit or my Dawn of Justice suit. Now, in terms of cape span, it actually is a nice cape. It's pretty good. It's not a huge cape. See, this is not quite, double this wouldn't be double on the other side. So this is the end of the cape. So it is kind of a thinner width cape, but that's fine. Like, it doesn't need to be huge, I don't think, but it is a really nice quality. Actually, I'll get a close-up of the actual cape. So the cape, you can see it's kind of like, it's almost like, it looks like it's a suede. It's not, it's like a faux suede, but it is a really nice looking cape. Yeah, in terms of capes, I find that makers are hit and miss with capes. I think Unmasked Studio generally does a pretty good job with his capes. I think capes are very hard to perfect, and they are a part of the suit, so they have to kind of be done right. And if they're not, it can be a big letdown for the suit. And I don't have any problems with Unmasked Studio's capes. I think they're great. I think for what this suit is, that's kind of a good cape for it. So I have no problems there. It's got really nice flap capability, which is good. So flow capability, I'll say. So that's your overall and your close-ups of the cape. And so now we're going to get a little bit into the overall experience and the maker experience. Okay, so in terms of the makers, so like I said, I was inspired by Jscomicart. He has done some edits of Superman, Henry Cavill, into a suit like this. And, I first reached out to him and I said, look, dude, I would love to have these makers make a suit based on your design. Is that all right? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. I'd be honored. And he's been a big supporter of this thing the whole way. Like, he shared it a bunch of times, and he was like so excited because he was probably I think he was the first person that I sent, aside from Aaron, of course. So the second person that I sent this suit to see for the first time before I even had it. And he was so excited about it. Like, he was massively excited about it. Really, really. So big shout out to Jscomicart. And in terms of Unmasked Studio, like I said, when I wanted this to do this suit, I told him this is what I want. And he, we worked together the whole time, and he's very good at keeping the communication alive. Now, I will say that it did take a little bit longer than expected. It's kind of like a catch-22 though, because I absolutely loved working. I still have a couple of suits coming from Unmasked Studio, and and I think that with him, I think he underestimates how long it's going to take, and that's not just limited to him. That if you're going to commission a suit, you have to understand that it's going to take a long time, because most of these makers who have been doing this for a while have a big waiting list. And even if you have, for example, commissioned a suit X amount of months in advance, once he gets to, say, September, October, he's gonna prioritize the Halloween orders, even if those were orders that were put in after you, and that's fair enough, because they have said to him, I need this by a certain date, and if he's gonna deliver that, he's got to say it. Is it kind of a bummer sometimes? Yeah, but I will say, because I've worked with him and I know what I'm going to get, I'm like happy to wait. So you kind of have to have that in your mind, that when you commission with a maker, it's going to take a long time, and there are going to be projects that come up that they have to agree to for whatever reason that have to take priority over yours, and that's okay. Like, it's really not the end of the world. So this suit did take longer. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't say that during the construction of this suit, his entire shop was kind of wiped out in a hurricane. So the fact that he was able to even get it done in the time that he got it done, chef's kiss. Like, he persevered through that. You know, him and I chatted and I helped him out where I could. But he kind of came out on top, like, really well. So really congratulations to him. And so, I mean, other than that, I mean, that's not even a bad thing. Like, the fact that it took a little bit longer, like, because I was prepared for it and I knew what I was going to get. He is great at communication. If I ever have any questions, within 24 hours, he's answering me back. He also is really good, like I said, at staying on top of sort of keeping me in the loop. Like, I rarely have to ask him for an update because generally he will send me updates anyway. So he's a really good maker to work with. Highly recommend. And the craftsmanship is just phenomenal. He's really, really good. Like, 10 out of 10. I have 2 more suits coming from him. And I mean, out of all the makers that I've worked with, probably, yeah, I will have by the time we finish, I will have 4 suits from him. That's more than I've worked with any other maker. Even Replica Industries, I only have 2 suits from them. In terms of GC5FX, this is the second emblem that I've gotten from him. The first emblem was the Kingdom Come, which also I do a review of if you want to go back and check that out. But I absolutely love GC5. I love Chris. He's great. I call him G-Dude. That's just like, so G-Dude, he's just like real great. He's really, the thing about these two is that they're really excited about what they do. And so with Chris, he gets really excited. And, you know, when I send him things on the suit, he's real stoked about it. And he just does fantastic work, you know. I started working with him about a year ago for the first time. And we are constantly in communication. Again, you know, when I say to him, hey man, I want to do something like this. Can you help me out? And he's like, yeah, I can do that. I can do, like, we were talking today and I was like, I want to do a suit and this is the kind of concept that I'm going with. What do you think? He's like, yeah, I can do all of that. I'm like, all right, dude, that's awesome. And he does such great work. Like, you can't see behind him, but there's a Power Rangers helmet behind Clark 2.0 here that Chris made and sent to me. I've got a mini Proton pack over there. I've got some Ghostbusters paraphernalia over there from Chris. So, like, I love working with Chris. I think he does great work. So GC5FX. So again, 10 out of 10. Really great guy. Really excited about his work being shown off. Something. So overall, that was the maker experience. 10 out of 10 on both fronts, and I will absolutely work with them again. All right, so there you have it. That was the full review of the Unmasked Studio / GC5FX suit inspired by Jscomicart. And that's what we have here. So again, I'll end this by saying, remember, if you're going to work with an artist, a maker, commission at your own risk. Just because I had a good experience doesn't necessarily mean that you will. I will not be held responsible for any experience that you have, good or bad. If you have and again, I've put a video out to explain all this, but if you have a problem with a maker, go to them, don't come to me. If you're not sure, if you have questions about pricing, go to them, don't come to me. I won't talk price, it's not my place, because each of these suits are made and the pricing is going to change depending on what they're making. So yeah, that's where we're at. So overall, the suit, I'd say I give it, in terms of craftsmanship, in terms of, you know, experience, probably a 9 out of 10, 8 or 9 out of 10, just because there are a couple of things on the suit that, you know, you can't give a suit a 10 out of 10. It's impossible because, and I've said this before, this is all made by hand. Yes, of course, there are sometimes machines involved and molds involved, but they're made by hand. Like, he's gluing this stuff on by hand. He's making the cape, you know, with a sewing machine or whatever it is he's using. He's gluing the muscle suit in by hand. He's casting the muscles, but, you know, if you give a suit a 10 out of 10, you're not looking at it correctly. And again, I say this because if you're somebody who is wanting to commission a suit, you have to understand that there will be flaws. Like, there's going to be flaws on any suit that you have made, unless you're having it made. You know what? Even the movie suits have flaws. Like, if you really look at those suits closely, you'll find flaws. You will. But I mean, I have a very critical eye, and I always tell the makers exactly how I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, and I've got so many suits that I look at each of them in a very close way. So when I say an 8 or 9 out of 10, that is like anybody else's 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10, right? So absolutely I would recommend working with Unmasked Studio, GC5FX. Definitely take a look at Jscomicart and all that good stuff. So that has been the review of the Unmasked Studio GC5FX suit. So if you have any questions about anything, please contact me. Again, not including price or how long it's going to take for them to make it. Go to the makers for that. So I do have some more things coming in the mix. I've got a few suits coming. Still waiting on that suit from Napier's. I'm hoping to get that soon. I do have a suit from Napier's that the review is already done, but I'm waiting to reveal that suit for when I have the other suit, because I'm going to do a group review. It's going to be really cool. Still making noise. Crazy man. So there you go. So look, that's all we got. I think we should end there. That's the conclusion of my review of this suit. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.